Vom continua conferința de astăzi cu următorul invitat, domnul Pavel Krkoška, CEO and co-founder Single Case.
Hello. I hope that you're fresh after the coffee, so you won't mind that I will be talking in English. And I will ask you for the slides. So my presentation will be about security by design. Yes, great. And I'm actually glad that Razvan has talked about cryptography, because it was a very nice, not introduction, of course, but it's something very similar. I'm going to talk about the thing that basically GDPR is not mainly about compliance, directives, but it's just about securing the data, right? So this is going to be quite practical, what you can ask your IT vendor, software company, anybody who's delivering some services to you, in terms of how do they secure the data. Yeah. So, does this work? It's on. No. Okay. So I'm going to start just a couple of, no? Okay, I'm going to just start about 1 minute about Single Case. What we do, we're case management software for lawyers. You might know our competition, Keyvision, Intelix, Isolix better than us, but we have recently entered the Romanian market. I also see few of our clients here. I'm glad about it. So hopefully you will know us better in 1 year. No, okay. And what we do is basically that we're providing legal case management, so you have case timeline, you have documents, you have CRM in our system, which is cloud-based and also connected to Portal Sustro, for example. What we do is that we track your activity in the case and proposing what you can invoice your client or what you can put it in as your timesheet. And we also do some financial reporting for you. So that's very easily what we do. And okay, so I'm going to try to do it out of my head. So, and hopefully this will appear. If you can make it work, then it's like 5 or 6. No, okay. So basically there are a couple of things that you can ask your IT vendor if they comply on top of GDPR, because as a software company, you can comply with GDPR in a lot of sense, but there is something additional that you can do. And Razvan has already talked about cryptography in a way. So first point is encryption of the data. So basically, first thing is, of course, that's great. So please just move a little bit if you can. Yes, 1 more, 2 more. 1 more, even 1 more. Yeah, okay. If you just keep it like that, it's totally fine. It's not going to be complicated. Also, I have provided with you a checklist. If you want, we have a checklist on our website, just 20 questions to ask your software company if they do stuff like that, and they will tell you, and we'll see. It's already working. Tricky question about the encryption. In case that you have your client data, you encrypt it with some key that you just possess, not me, but you just possess the key, and then give the data to me to store them. Do you think that I'm a subprocessor or processor in terms of GDPR? Okay, I don't know if... Yeah, some nods. I see some nods. Okay. We also think that I am a processor, even though I don't have access to that data because they're encrypted with your key. But we can agree, I think, that it's some additional level of security if I don't have a key as a supplier. So those are the questions that you could ask your software company, or maybe even your IT guy if they store your data somewhere else. So are they encrypted on safe? Usually when you connect to some web page, they are encrypted on a transfer, but usually or sometimes they are not encrypted on storage. All data or just some, and most importantly, who has the key? For example, Single Case, that's what is down there. So when you have your own documents, we encrypt with the key that you are in possession of and not us. So I have no way to enter your documents. And that's something that can be done, and it's very helpful. Breach protection. Your IT company, your software vendors should have implemented some breach protection and detection. One of the most usual attacks are SSH brute force attacks, meaning that somebody is trying constantly to attack your servers from Russia, from China, changing places. You should ask them if they do something like that down below. So if they actually measure that something like that is happening. Also, one of the key things you might, every time there are some data leaks from LinkedIn, from Dropbox, different sites with passwords of users and stuff like that. There are multiple problems usually connected to that, but if some passwords are leaked, it's always the case that the passwords are stored improperly, and there is a good and easy way how to store it. Again, in my checklist, in the end, you can figure the question exactly what to ask. So it needs to be stored securely. It's easy to do, but most of the services don't do that properly. And those passwords here actually are like top passwords from 2017. So all of the leaks, they contain those passwords most often. So please don't use them. Your software should be written in a way that you are not allowed to enter these passwords. It should tell you this is not secure. One of the key things, and I'm getting to the second half, so don't worry. One of the key things about, or not key things, but it's not very obvious that security means also availability of some service. With GDPR compliance even more, because you need to show, if somebody asks you about their personal data, you should be able to provide. If your system is not working, then you have a problem. So a good thing to ask your software vendor is also whether they, for example, have multiple instances. If something fails, that it can be launched from other places and stuff like that. And security audit, it's something that we do, and I think it helped us a lot to improve a lot of things even before GDPR. The thing is that all software applications contain critical faults. If somebody tells you otherwise, then they haven't checked. And developers are usually not very good in figuring them out, because they want to solve some of your problems and not think of who should attack from where, which direction, and so on. You should do 3 things, again, covered in my checklist in the end. You should basically do an architecture audit. You should even have somebody to check the code, the source code of some software application. Of course, you will not do it, but your software company should do it. And then they should also do penetration testing, which means somebody sitting and actively trying to break the systems. Yes, and this is the last but not least, exporting the data. It's our nightmare a little bit, because this is what's written in the directive. So basically, this means that theoretically we should be able to provide you export in such a way that you can that it can be automatically imported in some other software, which is very hard to do. We still don't know how to do it. Hopefully nobody will want it from us. But again, you should ask how do they export data, because they should provide them at least in some visible form, of course. You know that better than me. Yes, and that's it. Where do I have the checklist? Oh, I don't have it. Here, good. Okay, so in case you're interested in the whole list, it's like 20 questions. So feel free to ask, feel free to open this, and it's quite easy to understand, I think, and if you just forward it to IT, maybe it will help you with something. Maybe you will be surprised, or not, I don't know. Okay, thank you very much. In case you're interested about what we do, those are some contacts to my colleagues here in Bucharest. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.